Right now, someone in your life is using one of these 7 laws against you. You probably don't even see it. It's not a dramatic, obvious attack. It's a subtle shift in conversation, a calculated favor, a carefully planted idea that makes you question your own judgment. 500 years ago, a man named Niccolo Machiavelli wrote down the blueprint for this kind of power. Most people dismiss his work as evil, but the elite, they use it as a manual. They understand that power isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's about controlling the room itself. And today, these ancient laws are more potent than ever, operating in your office, in your social circle, and even in your own home. By the end of this video, you will not only see these laws in action, but you'll understand the psychological mechanics behind them. This isn't just about spotting manipulation, it's about reclaiming control over your own reality. You'll learn to defend yourself against these tactics, and should you choose, use them ethically to navigate the world with strength and clarity. In the chaotic world of 16th century Italy, Niccolo Machiavelli was a diplomat who saw firsthand how empires rose and fell. He wrote The Prince not as a moral guide, but as a pragmatic handbook for survival in a world of treachery and ambition. He stripped away the comforting lies society tells itself and exposed the raw, uncomfortable truth about human nature. His core message: to achieve great things, you must understand how the world is, not how you wish it were. These aren't just historical footnotes, they are the unwritten rules of the game you're already playing. Let's start with the first, and perhaps most misunderstood, law. Law 1. Be feared, not loved. Machiavelli famously argued that if you cannot be both loved and feared, it is far safer to be feared. Why? Because love is held by a chain of obligation, which, since men are fickle, is broken on every occasion for their advantage. But fear is held by a dread of punishment, which never fails. Think about the nice boss versus the demanding boss. The nice boss who wants everyone to like them often finds their deadlines missed and their authority questioned. Their team loves the relaxed atmosphere but doesn't respect the mission. The demanding boss, who sets high standards and holds people accountable, may not be invited to every party, but their projects get done. Their team's fear of failure and of letting the leader down drives results. To apply this, you don't need to become a tyrant. It's about earning respect through competence and a willingness to make difficult decisions. Let your actions, your standards, and your unwavering commitment to your goals command respect. That respect is a form of fear, the fear of disappointing a capable leader. But simply being feared isn't enough. It can make you a target. That's why the second law is so critical. Law 2. Never appear too ambitious. In the modern court of the office or social media, openly displaying your ambition is like painting a target on your back. It signals to rivals that you are a threat and invites them to sabotage you before you become too powerful. Machiavelli knew that those who rise quietly are the ones who last. Consider the quiet colleague who never boasts about their aspirations. They help others, they do excellent work, but they always seem content in their role. Then one day, they are announced as the new department head, seemingly out of nowhere. What you didn't see were the private meetings, the strategic alliances, and the consistent delivery of results behind the scenes. They made their moves in the shadows, not under the spotlight. The lesson? Let your results speak for you. When you achieve something, frame it as a team win. Downplay your personal ambition publicly while privately pursuing your goals with relentless focus. Make your rise to power look like a natural, inevitable progression, not a hungry grab for the throne. This next law is where things get even more deceptive because it weaponizes virtue itself. Law 3. Master the art of appearance. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must appear merciful, faithful, humane, religious, and upright. But he must be prepared to act in the opposite way when necessary. This is the core of strategic hypocrisy. People judge what they see, not what is real. Look at the corporation that spends millions on a green marketing campaign, plastering images of forests and clean energy everywhere. Their public image is one of environmental stewardship. Yet, behind the scenes, they may be lobbying to weaken environmental regulations. They have mastered the appearance of virtue to gain public trust and social license, while their actual behavior serves a different agenda. The defense against this is simple but requires discipline. Ignore words and watch actions. Observe patterns over time. Do a person's deeds align with their declared values? Judge the tree by its fruit, not by the labels someone has tied to its branches. Now we move from deception to division, a tactic as old as time. Law 4. Divide and conquer. A united front is a threat to any authority. A fractured group is easy to control. Machiavelli understood that encouraging factions and rivalries among your subordinates keeps them focused on each other, not on you. We see this in toxic workplace environments where a manager subtly praises one employee in front of another, creating jealousy. They might assign overlapping projects to spark competition or spread small pieces of gossip to breed mistrust. The team, now busy with internal squabbles, never unifies to challenge the manager's poor decisions or unfair policies. The manager maintains total control. To defend against this, you must actively build bridges. When a leader tries to pit you against a colleague, refuse to take the bait. Communicate directly with that colleague, share information, offer support, and create a united front. A manipulator's power dissolves when their targets start talking to each other. But what happens when you're the one who makes a mistake? That's where the fifth law comes in. Law 5. Let others take the blame. Machiavelli advised that a ruler should delegate unpopular tasks and decisions to others, so that when things go wrong, the blame falls on them. The ruler, meanwhile, can take credit for popular measures. This is the classic scapegoat mechanism. Think of a CEO announcing massive layoffs. They won't deliver the news themselves. They'll have the head of HR or mid-level managers do it. These are the faces of the bad news. Then 6 months later, when the company's stock price has recovered, the CEO will host a town hall to announce record profits and new, exciting opportunities, positioning themselves as the visionary savior. The application here is twofold. First, be wary when a superior hands you a high-risk, low-reward task. It may be a poisoned chalice. Second, when things go wrong on your watch, own your mistakes with integrity. While it may seem counterintuitive to Machiavelli, in today's world, accountability can build a rare and powerful form of trust. This brings us to one of the most ruthless laws, one that explains why sometimes good intentions lead to ruin. Law 6. Destroy or be destroyed. When you conquer a new territory, Machiavelli warned, you have two choices: either pamper the population or crush them completely. Anything in between will leave them resentful and strong enough to seek revenge. Half measures are the most dangerous. This principle isn't just for armies, it applies to corporate takeovers and even personal rivalries. Imagine a company that acquires a smaller competitor. A weak leader might fire some of the old management, but keep most of the team, hoping to integrate them. This often fails. The remaining members of the old guard resent the new leadership, quietly sabotage projects, and poison the culture. A Machiavellian leader, however, would either completely dissolve the old company's structure and culture, integrating everyone fully into the new system, or they would shut it down entirely. It's decisive and brutal, but it prevents a long, drawn-out war of attrition. The lesson: when you make a decisive move, whether it's ending a toxic relationship or leaving a failing project, make a clean break. Ambiguity is the breeding ground for future problems. And finally, the law that ties everything together, the one that governs the very nature of power itself. Law 7. Adapt like a fox and a lion. Machiavelli said a prince must be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. The lion is pure force, strong, direct, and intimidating. But the lion can be caught in a snare. The fox is cunning, clever, adaptable, and able to see what others miss. But the fox can't fight off a pack of wolves. You must be both. Think of a skilled negotiator. When the other side is aggressive and bullying the wolves, they must be a lion, standing firm, holding their ground, and showing unshakable strength. But when the negotiation becomes complex, full of hidden clauses and subtle tricks, the traps, they must become a fox, reading between the lines, asking clever questions, and navigating the landscape with strategic agility. Most people are only one or the other. They are either too aggressive or too passive. The true master of power knows when to roar and when to listen for the snap of a twig. So let's bring this all together. Be feared for your competence, not loved for your compliance. Hide your ambition behind a veil of quiet excellence. Master the image of virtue while understanding the necessity of difficult actions. Keep your rivals focused on each other, not on you. Delegate the blame for failure, but be prepared to own it when strategic. Make your decisive moves clean and absolute, and above all, know when to be a lion and when to be a fox. These laws feel dark because they expose the mechanics of power that we prefer not to see. But ignoring them doesn't make them go away. It just makes you a pawn in someone else's game. Machiavelli's gift was not a license for tyranny, but a map of the world as it is. Understanding it doesn't force you to become a monster. It gives you the wisdom to recognize them, the strength to defend against them, and the strategic clarity to build your own version of a kingdom, whatever that may be. The world is a power game. Most people play it blind, but you no longer have to. If you want to continue mastering the unwritten rules of power and human nature, subscribe to the channel, stay sharp, and keep learning.